Hi guys, today I am going to be doing my Christmas barn tour, which is super exciting. I can't wait for Christmas and I love decorating my stables. I did do a video on that. I must admit it wasn't very long. I probably could have gone into more detail, but that is there if you want to see it. But I'm just going to get straight into it so you can see my stable decoration. First we have the driveway. Normally I have the driveway round this bit in front of the barn, but I've decided to have it here, and I found this piece of grass which makes it look like there's like grass on either side. It's still quite wide for a driveway compared to the car, but I think it's better wider because where I go riding we always have to back up and stuff to let other cars through because it's one way. Well, you can only have one car going down it. But then we have the barn, which is decorated for Christmas. So we have these trees either side. I got these from a craft store near me. And then I also have these little bells, and they jingle. But I tied them onto string last year, and I stick them on the barn, and they look really cool. I also use these bells for my neck wreaths, which you can find on my Etsy shop. I then have these little felt wreaths. I could use the stuff I make my neck wreaths out of, but I didn't have time to make them. So I'm just reusing these from last year. And then over here I have two girls, and then there's Mia and Eleanor, and they are playing on these sleighs, even though they can't really do anything with them. It has been raining a lot recently, so we'll say they're planning on sliding in the mud with them. But at the moment they're just sitting on them. Before we go into the barn, we're going to go into these paddocks down here. So we have Katie, one of the barn hands, and she is leading Flicker, the Arabian stallion, out of the field. He has got into a fight with this stallion who still doesn't have a name. He is the retired Frisian stallion. And Flicker gets into fights a lot. He can't really go with other horses, so he's having to be taken out, and this horse is just a bit annoyed at him. Flicker's wearing a stable set made by me, and this guy's rug is made by me. Most of the rugs are made by me. Down here we have Acorn, the Tinker Stallion, and Cloud, the exclusive Pintabian stallion, and he's in his nice stable set. We then have Karis, who is in the stall with her horse, who you'll see later, and Phoebe's opening up the door for this stall so that the stallions can come in here if it rains or anything, so it's shelter. Next to this field we have a small field, and outside the gate there is a broom and a wheelbarrow. And then we have Truffle, the German riding pony gelding, in his stable set, and then Flint, my repaint on the Tinker Stallion, in his stable set too. In the barn we have mares and foals on the right, and stallions and geldings on the left. In this stall we have Pine, the Haflinger stallion. I have these little holly things on the door. The red berries, some of the red coatings are coming off. That's fine. And then every horse has water and hay. Before not all the stalls have hay in their hay racks, but now they do. And then there are saddles on the saddle racks. We then have Amy, one of my riders, and she is going to check on her horse Spartan, who is looking out at the driveway. Then we have this horse. I've forgotten his name. He was one of my first horses as well. I should remember his name, but I will try and remember it and put it up on the screen if I can remember it. He is the Trackner Stallion. He's semi-retired. On the first stall on the mare's side we have Callie, who is the Haflinger mare. She is Meg's, the owner's horse, and she is wearing this nice head collar I made for her recently. I never make stuff for my horses, so I really liked making something for one of my horses, and Callie is quite old. She's used sometimes for lessons, but not very much. So she's just relaxing in her stall. And then next to her we have Ripple, the Hanoverian mare. She's one of my favourite horses. I use her quite a bit. And you will see her owner Grace later. Then we have Karis and her horse. Karis is at the back looking at the horses and talking to Phoebe. And this is Olive, her horse and her stable set. She is the retired Hanoverian mare. And on her head collar it's meant to say Olive. I sewed it on a while ago. It kind of works, but you can't really see it on the camera. Then we have the empty stall for the stallion. Now we are on the bottom shelf of my 4 shelves. This is the indoor arena. It's just a shelf and I've got some cardboard and some tissue paper down to make it look like an arena. Shelves are really good for making indoor arenas. It makes them look less boxy as well because it's a building, but I really like it like this. Over here we have Grace, who is helping Martha. She is the barn manager. Test out this mare. This is Bianca. She is the Lipizzaner mare and she is new and they're training her. She's quite good at dressage already though. So Grace is riding her instead of Ripple today. In the corner we have the mountain block made out of Jenga blocks, a table and then a chalkboard for lesson times. Except it's really annoying because you can't actually write with chalk on them. I don't know why, but it just doesn't work. Then over here, we don't have any jumps out because they were doing dressage, but they finished now. We have Izzy and her friend Ruby, and they've got some Christmas lights to put up around the edge of the arena. So they are taking them over to do that. They're both carrying them because there's quite a lot of lights. It will definitely go around all of the arena. Now we are on to the second level. We have this barn which has feed and hay at the top, and then we have a field down here for the mares and foals, and I like having the mares and foals in this field because they can go in here to shelter. So we have Butter and her foal Dandy, they are fjords, and Butter's quite overprotective of Dandy, so she's just standing over him. We then have Indy, the paint mare or pinto, I can't remember. I think it's a pinto. And then Capricorn, her foal, and Ruby, the Clydesdale foal. They are looking at Sugarfoot, who was tied up, but now she isn't. Someone tried to put a Christmas hat on her and she got annoyed, so she's run off. We then have Sugarfoot's cart, and a sign for the cafe, which is over here. On the door we have a wreath, and the door is actually open. Let's just say it's closed because it's really hard to open and close. You have to pull at it quite a bit and that moves everything in the cafe, which is really annoying because it takes forever to set up. But in the cafe we have Avery, who runs it, and Ty talking about lessons because they are both riding instructors, and Avery is handing Ty a coffee or something like that. I don't need to go through all the little accessories in here because you can probably see what they all are. And then there's a chalkboard, and I've just knocked over a chair. I've picked the table back up, it's fine, everything's fine, moving on. We have Myra and Danny, and they are putting new flowers in, or taking out old flowers from the flower pots that go on the tables. And then Bella, who is Sugarfoot's owner, she's going to realise in a minute that she's loose, is having something to eat and drink before going and doing more stuff with her pony. We then have a little Christmas tree in the corner over here. Most of my Christmas trees are quite squashed because they're in packets. They don't look like the healthiest Christmas trees ever, but they still look like Christmas trees, so we'll go with it. This is the yard, which like the main yard, and this is probably my favourite level. It's got the big Christmas tree. But if we start over here, we have Annie, who I repainted in a video, so I will leave a link to that, is going to groom Attila, who is the retired field stallion. There are some apples which he wants to go and eat, and then Hannah's sitting on the wash stool talking to Annie. And then there's some tack that behind them. Oh, the wreath's fallen off. I just used sticky tape to stick the hat on. So there are 2 wash stools, one of them's not being used. There's a tree over there, and then chicken and her chicks. And then we go into the tack room, which has the saddle wall. Some of the saddle racks have fallen off, 1 or maybe 2. We then have shelves with the grooming supplies on, so there are normally more grooming kits on there, but there aren't at the moment. Some ribbons and some more grooming supplies in those like containers. There's then a tack set I made, which the saddle is on the wrong way around, and then another saddle rack with a saddle on it. Then some homemade things. This 5-point breastplate down here was made by Rosewood Tack Shop. I did a tack trade with her a while ago, which was fun. I like her items. But that's just there. I then have a feed chart and a notice board with a few notices on, but I need to redo my tack room in general. It's very old. So I will maybe do that at some point. I don't know, I don't have that much time to. This shelf hasn't changed, it's just got some different horses in it. We have the gates. I haven't mentioned about the gates. I have taken the tops off and the bottoms, and now it looks more realistic. So I like it like that. I've only got 2 of them, but I still use them. So we'll just pretend that some gates are made differently, because they are. So it's not really pretending. But we then have Swizzle, the repaint on the Welsh pony stallion. He's taking a drink from this water trough. Then there's Scout, the Trakehner stallion, Trakehner gelding even. He's wearing someone else's blanket. I think it's Pepperny's. I'm not sure if you've seen Pepperny, but it's just a blanket to keep him warm. Then at the back there is, I can't remember his name either, the retired Percheron stallion, and then Addison, I'm not doing very well today, Addison the Holsteiner gelding. Then in the stable we have Connor the Frisian stallion, Ash the Lipizzaner gelding, Alcatraz the English thoroughbred stallion. On the mare side we have. I hope you've enjoyed seeing my stable decorated up for Christmas, and maybe you could use a few ideas for your stables. I don't know, if you want to, that's fine. I'd love it if you were inspired by my stuff. But thank you for watching, and see you next time.